Everyone knows a story about a highly intelligent and skilled person who was promoted into a leadership position only to fail at the job. And they also know a story about someone with solid but not extraordinary skills who reached unexpected success. Researcher Daniel Goleman claims that the most effective leaders are alike in one crucial way: they all have a high degree of emotional intelligence. He defines it as the ability to recognize our own feelings and those of others for managing emotions well in ourselves and our relationships. EQ is made up of 4 core skills. Self-awareness is the first component of emotional intelligence, which describes a deep understanding of one's emotions, strengths, weaknesses, and goals. Self-aware people recognize how their feelings affect them, other people, and their job performance. A self-aware person, who knows that tight deadlines bring out the worst in him, plans his time carefully, and gets his work done in advance. Another person with high self-awareness will be able to work with a demanding client. She can recognize where her frustration comes from and how it affects her. She can then set her feelings aside and do best for the client. Knowing what you feel isn't enough to be successful. It is also important to control emotions. It is the domain of self-management, the second component of emotional intelligence. Imagine a boss who has just watched his team lose an important client. He might find himself tempted to pound on the table in anger, kick over a chair, or scream at the group. But if he had a gift for self-management, he would choose a different approach. He would pick his words carefully, acknowledging the team's poor performance without judgment. He would then step back to consider the reasons for the failure. Is it just a lack of effort? Are there any other factors? What was his role in the failure? He would then present his analysis of the problem and a well-considered solution. Of all the components of emotional intelligence, empathy or social awareness is the most easily recognized. At the workplace, empathy means thoughtfully considering employees' feelings, along with other factors, in the process of making intelligent decisions. Consider what happened when 2 giant companies merged, creating redundant jobs in their departments. One manager called his people together and emphasized the number of people who would soon be fired. Another manager was upfront about his worry and confusion, and he promised to keep people informed and to treat everyone fairly. The difference between these 2 managers was empathy. The first manager was too worried about his own fate to consider the feelings of his colleagues. The second knew what his people were feeling, and he acknowledged their fears with his words. Is it any surprise that the first department sank, as many demoralized people, especially the most talented, departed? By contrast, the second manager continued to be a strong leader, his best people stayed, and his department kept most jobs. Empathy is particularly important today when working in teams is a commonplace practice. The last component, social management, is a person's ability to manage relationships with others. Social management allows you to move people in the direction you desire, whether that's agreement on a new marketing strategy or enthusiasm about a new product. Socially skilled people tend to have a wide circle of acquaintances, and they are adept at building rapport by finding common ground with people. To succeed in social management, a person would need to be objective in relationships and strive to find solutions to conflicts. Therefore, social management is a skillful use of self-awareness and empathy. As we can see, emotional intelligence consists of 4 major components. Since it is the core of all successful communication, it is fortunate that emotional intelligence can be learned. The process is not easy, but the benefits make it worth the effort. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe to our social media or visit us at lxlabs.org.